Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I don't have a specific topic this morning. I thought I would just whatever comes out of my mouth. I have been thinking about a lot of stuff, but I just don't have anything specific, an agenda today. I did want to tell you, have a little secret about myself to tell you that I'm kind of a nerd about several things, and one of those things that I'm a nerd about is early American colonial history, especially involving the Revolution, and then also the philosophical thought that kind of led us up to that place. The John Locke and Adam Smith, and Thomas Paine, and Thomas Jefferson, and Alexis de Tocqueville, and Milton Friedman, Friedrich Hayek, Ludwig von Mises. These great minds of our past, some of them a little bit more recent and some of them further back, paved the way for this country to become what it is, or what it was, and then tried the best that it could to keep us focused in that direction along the way. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because last night, before I went to bed, I was sitting and was rereading some of the founding fathers, their writings. Patrick Henry and Samuel Adams and Richard Henry Lee. I was rereading some of their stuff, the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist papers, things that probably most people under 30 years old today have no clue what I'm even talking about. And I was reading some of their writings, their speeches that they gave, the articles that they had printed. And I was thinking, why do we not have that in America today? Where is that? Where are these great giants of honor and intellect that really understand what liberty is and how to get there and how to keep it? Because it just seems that we don't have that anymore. And I was just thinking about that and wondering, what is it? What's going on? Will we ever have that? Will we ever see the day again where great men, not even learned men, because some of these men, by the standards of the day, may not have been all that learned, but they still possessed great wisdom and knowledge. Will we ever see the day when people like that will rise up and not do it for profit or for fame, but do it because of the just cause of liberty? We'll do it knowing that they're putting everything on the line, knowing that the odds are that they will fail and that they will be persecuted and that their property will be taken from them. They could be imprisoned. They may even lose their life and the lives of their loved ones. Will we see men today stand up and do that? I know that there are people out there of the conservative slant that sometimes seem to fill that position, and there's some that I listen to on a regular basis and agree with fairly often. But again, many of them, they've built a wealth because of what they're doing. They have great fame and fortune, and they're constantly trying to expand that. And I often wonder how many of these people in the media, politicians and stuff, how many of them would still be doing that if they knew that they were going to lose all of that. They were going to lose their wealth and their mansions and their fame and their popularity. How many of them would do it for that? I don't know. I can't answer that. I can say, and I was thinking about this last night, that you and I need to be the Patrick Henrys of our time. We need to be the ones standing up and being that Patrick Henry in your home, being that Samuel Adams in your church, and that Thomas Jefferson in your community. And we need to know what we're talking about, be well read, and have great courage, because it's going to take both of that. And I'm not talking sounding like some, right slanted protester that's just regurgitating Sean Hannity's talking points. I'm talking about someone that really knows how to rebut the enemy, and how to explain in a calm way what we are doing and what we're standing for, and then be willing to hold the line for it, because that day may be coming a lot sooner than you think. And they're going to throw everything at us. The psychological manipulation is really it's already been bad for a long time, folks. CIA has been doing stuff in the media for decades, and it's just going to get worse. And we have to be tough and be willing to stand up against that and to see through it, because that's their greatest tool. I mean, look at how much ground they've gained so far without firing a bullet. It's going to continue that way. But then you also need people with real grit and courage, that's willing to lose it all, that's willing to pledge their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to the cause of liberty, to the cause of freedom, that's willing to say, I may be poor, living in, nothing, but as long as myself and my family enjoys freedom, and that we're not slaves to the system, it's worth it. How many are willing to give up their venti latte, whatever those are, their 3,000 square foot middle class mansions, and their big screen TVs, and their high speed internet? How many are willing to sacrifice that? Think about it. They're going to come at you with everything. They already are. And I suspect today we're going to see another great example of their psychological manipulation. The inflation numbers are coming out today. They've probably already been out as of the time of you watching this video. I suspect they're going to be down a little bit. And they're going to get out there and they're going to tell you how great they are, how inflation has peaked, how the economy is showing signs of recovery, and how all of this that we've been worried and talking about, it's over. It's time to go back to business as normal. Just calm down and then go out and vote. It's all being done. It's just manipulation. For one thing, you all know that the inflation numbers is a joke. It's been manipulated for 30 years now or more. And the only reason they might come down a little bit is because, gas prices have come down, and some of that is the result of Joe Biden releasing a bunch of our strategic oil reserves, which only makes us weaker, especially potential conflicts with both Russia and China. And we have less crude oil in our reserves to get through all that. They're just going to manipulate everyone. They're going to make you believe something that's not true. And don't buy into it. Tyson Foods just this week were saying that they're raising the prices of their chicken by 20%. Oh, that's a good amount. A lot of people eat chicken. In fact, that's becoming the number one protein source in America, because everything else has gone up in price. Goldman Sachs, I believe it was yesterday, was just saying that this lowering of gas prices is only temporary, and they predict real soon for them to jump back up to where they were previously, and maybe even higher, because there's just not enough supply. They say all the reserves, these different companies, are just not able to produce enough. So this is just temporary. Don't buy in to their lies. Teach your families, teach your children, bring it into your home, not just Patrick Henry and Samuel Adams and Thomas Jefferson's writings, but also the Bible. I mean, where do you think a lot of those men, got some of their ideas? They said so themselves. Get on your knees, teach your children how to do that, to humble yourself before the Lord, and then teach them to be men and women of honor and great warriors. Don't teach them that they have to run out and pretend like a warrior, because a real warrior doesn't go out and pick a fight and doesn't go around seeking war. A real warrior searches for peace and does everything that they can that's within their power to teach and to spread the ideas of peacefulness and the ideas of liberty. That's what a real warrior does. They're fighting for the people and for the freedom of the people. But a real warrior is also capable and willing to take a stand, willing to risk it all to ensure that them and their children and their grandchildren may just grow up again, and once again a free country and a free world. Are the odds that we will win this and survive and prevail? Well, I hate to break it to you, but by my best estimation, I think the odds are against us. But that's not being pessimistic. It's not saying we should give up. In fact, in some ways, that may be just the best place we need to be. We don't know that we're going to overcome this evil that has permeated our society for far too long. We don't know that we're going to win back our schools and our churches and our children that have just gone astray and that have bought into all this. We may not. We may go to our graves in a worse world than what we're living in now. But that's not a reason to stop. That's not a reason to give up and give in. It's not a reason to be weak. In fact, to me, it's all the reason to push harder, to stand firmer, to fight harder, and to have just a little bit more grit. Because the enemy is expecting us to all give in. They're expecting us to show weakness. They're expecting us to cave because they believe all this is talk. And history, including recent history has shown that it's all talk. That when push comes to shove, we'll give in. We'll comply. We won't like it. We'll be like the 5-year-old kicking the floor and pouting and stomping our feet. We won't want to, but we'll give in. That's their plan. That's what they figure. Don't be part of that statistic. Be a John Adams and a Samuel Adams and a Thomas Jefferson and a Patrick Henry. Be that in your home and in your community, in your circle. And do it for the right reasons. And make sure you know what you're talking about and that you're well studied. Because the enemy's going to come at you. You know, they've been teaching in universities for years how bad all that is. And how those people are bad. how they were all a bunch of racists, how they were all a bunch of evil people. We're facing a lot right now, and we're going to face even more. It's just inevitable. It's the process and the progress of how these things go. You can look all throughout history when different civilizations go through something like this. It gets a lot worse than what it already is. The Bible foretells that too. I believe that we're living in those days of Noah, that birthing pangs. And if that's true, then we know it's going to get worse. Don't sit around waiting for a Patrick Henry or Samuel Adams to rise up and speak the truth and rally the people. Be that person yourself. We all have the capabilities of that, and we all should be that. Because we're going to need it. And if you think that you're going to stand up against this machine that's about ready to steamroll over everyone, just because you've watched your fill of Fox News and you have all the appropriate pro-Trump and pro-this and pro-that t-shirts, I hate to sound really, well, like an a-hole, but that's not enough. That's not enough, folks. Be strong, be of good courage, stand firm, and keep your powder dry, because I don't think we've seen anything yet, folks. Get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.